Welcome to Black People History, where prominent black people throughout history are showcased. This episode will cover black royalty who are known and maybe not well known. Definition of royalty is a person of royal status, lineage, dignity, power, or sovereignty. So what exactly is royalty? Black royalty. Is it who they ruled? How they ruled? Did they help black people when they ruled? Did they help the black community in their rulership? Royalty comes throughout time in many forms, from men to women who have kingship or queenship. Royalty is undoubtedly someone who rules either out of necessity or because of family ties. Throughout history, there have been many great black royals. This episode will shed light on black royalty and give you information on how and why they are important and significant people in history, our history. I'll be discussing several individuals: King Musa the First, or Mansa Musa, King Tut, King Solomon, Queen of Sheba, King Mswati III, King Lesti III, Queen Cleopatra, King Akhenaten, and Queen Nefertiti. King Musa the First, or Mansa Musa, was royal emperor of Mali and the richest person in history. Yes, you heard correctly. The richest person in history, alive or dead. King Musa's wealth is downright incalculable, incomprehensible, unimaginable. King Musa had a vast amount of gold, not to mention all the land he also owned. Some estimates say King Musa's wealth could have been $400 billion, but it could have honestly been in the trillions. King Musa became ruler of the Mali Empire in West Africa in 1312, at a time when European nations were struggling just to attain resources. King Musa's empire flourished in gold and salt and was the true road to El Dorado. King Musa traveled with thousands of soldiers and slaves, draped in fine clothing with hundreds of pounds of gold in tow. King Musa left a generous amount of gold in Egypt when he visited, and he gave so much gold away that it actually depreciated gold in the Egyptian economy because it was in such abundance in Egypt because of him. It took 12 years for Egypt's economy to recover. As a king, Musa used his wealth to attain new territories and built schools, universities, libraries, and religious buildings. The majority of wealthiest lists of all time have him as the number one person, while very few don't. I wonder why. It is even said that the character T'Challa, the Black Panther, was loosely based on King Musa the First, or Mansa Musa, real-life kingdom, kingship, lavishness, and sheer unfathomable wealth. King Mansa Musa shows black royalty at its finest and how he was able to conquer with wealth, kindness, and generosity, not war. King Tut, or Tutankhamun, was the 12th Egyptian pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. King Tut is one of the most iconic figures in history and is one of the most well-known Egyptian kings. King Tut was known as the boy king in power because he was only 9 years old when he would reside on the throne as king. King Tut sought to restore and repair old holy sites, and also restore and repair relationships with ancient Egypt's neighboring territories. King Tut's tomb showed how elegantly and meticulously the production and craftsmanship of the design was, while also highlighting the incorporation of gold. King Tut will forever live through history as one of the most well-known black kings. King Solomon was a black ruler known for his wisdom and wealth. King Solomon ruled Israel after his father, King David. King Solomon's reign was from 970 BCE to 931 BCE. King Solomon has been featured in religious texts, even going so far as to have been attributed as an author for some texts found in religious texts. King Solomon is mentioned in Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Baha'i. In ancient times, King Solomon was a righteous king. In modern times, he is considered not only a righteous king, but also a prophet, a messenger from God, and even a saint. King Solomon is known to have built the first temple for Yahweh in Jerusalem. Queen of Sheba was Queen of Saba, now modern-day Yemen. The Queen of Sheba's story has been preserved in Ethiopian text, in Yoruba text, which is Nigeria and Benin, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, and even in the Orient. The Queen of Sheba is said to have sought out King Solomon in Jerusalem because of his fame and renowned wisdom. Queen of Sheba asks King Solomon hard questions upon her meeting him, and he answers them all. Impressed with King Solomon, she gives him large amounts of spices, gold, and precious stones. Queen of Sheba also goes by the name of Bilquis and Makeda. The Queen of Sheba has such a vast amount of wealth and power, and still continues to influence culture from television to film to books. King Mswati III is the present-day king of Eswatini. King Mswati III was king at birth and was selected at the young age of 14, but crowned at 18 years old. He was the youngest monarch to ascend to the throne. King Mswati III rules his country with absolute authority and has ultimate say in legislation and laws. A lot of controversy surrounds King Mswati III because of policies he has tried to enact, his luxurious lifestyle, accusations of taking women he wants to marry, and protests against him from the LGBT community and those infected with HIV/AIDS. King Mswati III is one of the last monarchs in Africa and has 15 wives and 23 children, while King Mswati III's father had a total of 125 wives. King Leslie III is the present-day constitutional monarch of Lesotho. King Leslie III graduated from college with a degree in agricultural economics. King Leslie III's duties as a king are only ceremonial, not political, but he is still a humanitarian who fights for rights of the poor and misfortunate. In light of King Leslie III declaring HIV/AIDS a natural disaster in Lesotho, he created a charity organization with Prince Harry called Cittabel. King Leslie III's charity, Cittabel, helps disadvantaged young children and people, specifically those orphaned as a result of AIDS and HIV. Queen Cleopatra VII was the last ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty and last pharaoh of Egypt from 51 BC to 30 BC. Queen Cleopatra is considered an exotic beauty who ruled Egypt, Cyrus, territories in the Middle East, and parts of modern-day Libya. Queen Cleopatra has been immortalized in media and culture, which include films, music, art, and literature. Queen Cleopatra was not only said to be beautiful, but also well-spoken, intelligent, and multilingual, ruling with an iron fist. King Akhenaten was pharaoh of Egypt's 18th dynasty. King Akhenaten's name means in great use of God or of great use to God. Before becoming King Akhenaten, his name was Amenhotep IV. King Akhenaten ruled from 1353 BCE to 1336 BCE. King Akhenaten's reign is known as the Amarna period and is considered the most contentious time period in Egypt. King Akhenaten is attributed to having originated monotheistic religion, or the belief in one god instead of a pantheon of gods, not only in Egypt but the world. Queen Nefertiti was queen and chief consort to Pharaoh Akhenaten. Queen Nefertiti, with her husband, ruled arguably one of the richest and wealthiest times in Egyptian history. Queen Nefertiti took an active role in conceptualizing the Aten cult, which was sun worship and considered the most important god. Queen Nefertiti was thought to have been the most powerful woman to have ever ruled not only Egypt but anywhere in ancient times. There are theories that after her husband's death, King/Pharaoh Akhenaten, she continued to rule as Pharaoh Shmekka, even going as far as dressing like a male. Queen Nefertiti is an iconic queen and is a powerful pharaoh regardless of gender. These were just a few of the black people in history who were in our royalty. Black royalty has inspired black people to strive for greatness and know that they come from kings and queens. Stay tuned for the next episode where black entrepreneurs in history will be covered. Thank you. Stay blessed, stay safe, be inspired, and never give up on your dreams.